Welcome to another exciting time on the IBM TV. I still remain your host, Brown Wachinemelu. Today is 25th September 2020, a beautiful Friday. A wonderful Friday. I'm excited because today's topic is really interesting. When you wake up in the morning every day, your neighbors, your friends, families, everyone has a story about how they got traumatized sexually. And it's really shocking that it turns to be a trend every day. So today, we're talking about it, how you can get healed over such traumas. So if you check your time today, it's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm saying good morning to all our viewers in the US, Canada, Jamaica, Cuba, Mexico, and Peru. It's 2 p.m. West African Time. It's also 3 p.m. African time. So I'm saying good afternoon to all my West African brothers and also Botswana, Burundi, Egypt, Libya, Rwanda, and South Africa. Now it's also 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So I'm saying Namaste, good evening to all Asia. It's our custom on the show to tell you an African story. Okay, let me tell the story before I bring in my guests. Okay, first of all, this story, it's really from Africa. It's from Nigeria. And it's going to be quite a lengthy one, but I'll try and make it short. Or you know what? Let me just invite my guests and let my guests kind of hear the story as well. Well, one of my guests I'm excited to have on my show. It's a privilege. I'm honored that she's on my show. She's a mother, an author, certified English teacher, freelance writer, editor, author, assistant. She's a coach, poet, entrepreneur, storyteller, a public speaker. She's a blogger, a blog/website expert and consultant. In case you need someone to help you with a blog, she's good in it. She helps people become authors. Like I want to be an author, and I know she will really help me. She's among 25 successful copyright experts in the world. You see why she's that special. Raped while she was a virgin at the age of 14. She turned into drugs, quitted school for 4 times, and became very promiscuous. At the age of 16, she had an abortion. She got involved into prostitution, and at the age of 18, she had a son. She went back to school and graduated via program for single mothers. She attended Lakehead University, having a BA and / Bachelor in Education in field of study, math, and English. She worked for 3.5 years teaching in a small town. Then she quitted and moved back to her hometown and returned into prostitution and drugs because she felt the money was better. But it ruined her self-esteem. She got into an accident which nearly made her lost her right leg, resulting to the scar and deformity to her leg, contributed to her depression. She was also suicidal for years also. The worst time of her life was when she ended up smoking crack for 10 months. She nearly died when appendix burst. I saw leaving her when he got to the age of 19, and she didn't speak with him for 3 years. This event changed her life for good. She realized she didn't want to die without saying goodbye to her son. So she finally reconnected with her son, and her life came back on track. She decided to pursue a writing career. She now owns a business. She lives a clean life, spending a lot of it helping others like me to become an author in life. She has 5 honors and awards to her credit. That's Kiwanda Club of Westford Scholarship Award, Lakehead Board of Education, Danson Education Scholarship, Lakehead University Entrance Award of Academic Excellence, Lakehead University Student Union Jubilee Scholarship, OAC Gold Medal Award. She's the CEO of Warden. She's the CEO of Warden Well, with 2 fast-selling books on the Amazon. Well, I know very soon she'll become a bestseller. So I have no doubt on that because I always have bestsellers on my show. I know we'll celebrate it on the IBM TV soon. So for books from Nope to Hope and Risky Issues, I recommend them. You get them because they're part of my reading books for 2021. Yes, all the way from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. She speaks Spanish, English, and her name is Lauren Rigoli. Hi, Lauren. Oh, okay. I think we lost. Okay, she's here.
Hi, I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I know it's morning your time. What time is it in Canada, in Ontario?
It's just after 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock. So can you tell our viewers good mornings in Spanish as you speak Spanish?
Buenos dias.
Buenos
Buenos
dias.
dias. Yes.
Wow. Wow, that's nice. Good to have
Please
you.
don't ask me to say anything else in Spanish.
Great, no problem.
English is my area of expertise.
I understand. Okay, good. I have another guest. I believe she's here already. She's a mother, a public speaker, a gospel singer, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and an actress to making. Graduated from with a BSc from Federal University of Technology, Akure. On the stage, she used her singing gift to minister healing to the sick and giving hope to God's people. She vowed to be God's instrument and the mission of giving a voice to the hopeless and the less privileged. CEO of Diamond Landmarks, resided in West Africa capital, the city of Lagos. She speaks Yoruba and English friendly. Her name is Oluseun Oguseyi. I don't know if she's here, but if she's here, she'll join us anytime soon. Good. Well, I have a story to share first before we go into our main show. It's our custom in Mind Closet 101 to share an African story. So I hope you don't mind to join us. Larry, right? All right, she's here. Sheung, yeah. Good to have you. Can you hear us? Sheung, can you hear us? I hope you can.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah. It's good to have you. It's good to have you on our show. Great.
Hi, Lauren.
Oh, Larry, she's saying hi to you.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. It's very difficult to hear.
I understand. It's a network. We just have a network issue.
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear
Good.
me?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you now.
Okay, but your cam is kind of cracky and stuff. Stick.
Can you hear
stuck
me?
somehow. Clearly, beautiful.
Yes.
I think before it gets to her, it takes time a bit. Okay, let me go on with the African story. Effiong Idem is a native of Cobham Town. He had a very fine daughter whose name is Effiong. All the young men in the country wanted to marry her on the account of her beauty, but she refused all offers of marriage in spite of repeated entries from her parents, as she was very vain and said she could only marry the best looking man in the country. He could have to be young and strong and capable of loving her properly. Most of the men her parents wanted her to marry, although they were rich, were old men and ugly. So the girl continued to disobey her parents, at which they were very much grieved. The skull, who lived in the spirit land, heard of the beauty of this Calabar virgin and thought he could like to possess her. So he went about among his friends and borrowed different parts of the body from them, all of the best. From one, he got a good head, another lent him a body, a third gave him strong arms, and the fourth lent him a fine pair of legs. At last, he was complete and was a perfect specimen of manhood. He left the spirit land and went to Koba Market, where he saw Affion and admired her very much. At this time, Affion heard that the very fine man had been seen in the market, who was better looking than any of the natives. She therefore went to the market at once, and directly she saw the skull in his borrowed beauty. She fell in love with him and invited him to her house. The skull was delighted and went home with her. On his arrival, was introduced by the girl to her parents and immediately asked for her consent to marry their daughter. At first they refused, as they did not wish her to marry a stranger, but at last they agreed. He lived with Effion for 2 days in her parents' house, and then said he wished to take his wife back to his country, which was far off. To this, the girl really readily agreed, as he was a fine man. But her parents tried to persuade her not to go. However, being very headstrong, yes, she made up her mind to go, and they started. After they had gone a few days, the father consulted a herbalist, we call him Juju man here in Africa, who, by casting lots, very soon discovered that his daughter's husband belonged to the spirit land and she could surely be killed. They therefore all mourned her as dead. After walking for several days, Effion and the skull crossed the border between the spirit land and the human country. Directly, they set foot in the spirit land. First of all, one man came to the skull and demanded his legs, then another his head, and the next his body, and so on, until in a few minutes the skull was left by itself in all its natural ugliness. At this, the girl was very frightened and wanted to return home, but the skull could not allow this and ordered her to go with him. Where they arrived at the skull's house, they found his mother, who was a very old woman, quite incapable of doing any work, who could only creep about. Effion tried her best to help her and cooked her food and brought water and firewood for the old woman. The old creature was very grateful for this attention and soon became quite fond of Effion. One day, the old woman told Effion that she was very sorry for her, but all the people in the spirit land were cannibals. And when they heard there was a human being in their country, they could come and kill her and eat her up. The skull mother then hid Effion, and as she had looked after her so well, she promised she would send her back to the country as soon as possible. Okay, yes, providing that she promised for the future to obey her parents. Effion readily consented to do, then the old woman sent the spider, who was a very clever hairdresser, and made him dress Effion's hair in the latest fashion. She also presented her with an anklet and other things on account of her kindness. She then made a charm and called the winds to come carry and convey Effion to her home. At first, a violent tornado came with thunder, lightning, and rain, but the skull mother sent him away as unstable. Then the next wind came. Yeah, good, sorry. Then this next wind came, was a gentle breeze. So she told the breeze to carry Effion to the mother's house and said goodbye to her. Very soon afterwards, the breeze deposited Effion outside her home and left her there. When the parents saw their daughter, they were very glad and had for some months given up at lost. The father spread soft animal skins on the ground from where his daughter was standing all the way to the house so that her feet could not be soiled. Effion then walked into the house and her father called all the young girls who belongs to Effion's company to come and dance. And the feasting and the dancing was kept up for 8 days and nights. When the rejoicing was over, the father reported what had happened to the head of chiefs of the town. The chief then passed a law that parents should never let the chief then passed a law that parents should never allow their daughters to marry strangers who come from our country. Then the father told his daughter to marry a friend of his, and she willingly consented and lived with him for many years, and they had many children. Now, this story teaches us not to disobey our parents and not to be headstrong. So this is our African story. Well, the introduction of My Closet 101. My Closet 101 is if you're perfect, be the first to cast the stone, judge not, and you shall not be judged. Here we don't judge people, we express our minds, and we're free. All problems are illusions of the mind. Mind Closet 101, it's a life coaching show that gives people the platform to ask questions that have been locked in the closet of their minds, and also have a one-on-one avenue for people to freely interact and express their inner thoughts without being judged, where everyone can learn from different experiences, opinions, not only permitted to talk about victories, successes, but also failures, mistakes, and burdens. I've introduced my guests. So if you're watching us for the first time, and this is your first time watching us, before we start the show, I'd like to ask the audience to please feel free to send us your questions, contributions, experiences to our Facebook page, Mind Closet 101 on the Facebook. Also on the IBM TV Facebook page of the IBM TV. You can also send it to me at Bronwachinemelu on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube IBM channel. Thank you. Now, for me to come up with this topic, I had a story of a lady sending us a mail that she had been raped severally, and this led her into prostitution. And this really, disturbed me for a long time. And now, I think Shewan, I don't know if Shewan is ready, but good. Let's start with Lauren. Lauren, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Before we start, I'd like you to tell us about your book, Nope to Hope. Let's start with that.
Okay. Here's a copy of it. Yes. So, From Nope to Hope is actually a book that I wrote in response to an article I wrote online about my suicide attempt and what people can do if they are feeling so depressed that they are suicidal. When I realized that I was getting over 500 people a day reading that article, I was astonished that there were that many people out there feeling so horrible about themselves that they just wanted to die. And so I decided to take all of the strategies and techniques that I personally used to help me overcome my suicidal thoughts and depression and put them together in a book and share that book with the world. And so From Nope to Hope is that book. And also included in this book at the end of each chapter is a section that I call thought and action exercises. So
Okay.
there's, for example, at the end of this chapter, you can see that there's a spot to write in. There's even a little chart for people
Yeah.
to take what they've applied in that chapter and start applying it to their own life, to start getting some results immediately. So From Nope to Hope is a really helpful book, and it will not only teach you the strategies and techniques that I used, but it will actually change your mindset, change your thinking patterns, and allow you to live a happier life. And I know because I'm living proof.
That's beautiful. What about risky issues?
Oh, so Risky Issues is a book of short stories, and I know I had a copy of it around here somewhere. Anyways, it was I called it my practice book because I basically wanted to make sure I went through the steps of self-publishing on Amazon in the correct way. So I took 5 of the short stories that I've written and put them together into a book and just put that up for sale on Amazon. So while I would appreciate, people checking that book out, this is the one that's going to actually help people and have an impact on people, From Nope to Hope. And I'm actually in the process of changing this cover. I just got a new cover design for it. This has been my cover for the last 3 years, and it was down to 2 different covers when I was making the decisions. So I'm going to try the other cover as well. I don't have a sample of it, but it's a black cover with 2 hands cupping a candle with a candle flame in the middle, and it looks really, really nice.
Can people find it on ebook?
Yeah, they can find this on Amazon, actually. From Nope to Hope is on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Oluwaseun, can you hear me? My mic just got muted. Okay, can you hear me now? Seun? I think the network is really, really bad. Ugh. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on with Lauren. All right. From your bio, you've been raped, right?
Yes, I was
How
raped.
many times have you been? How many times?
Actually 3.
Three.
I only usually talk about the first one, though. The first one happened when I was 14 years old, and I was a virgin at the time. So that was the biggest traumatic event of my life, and it completely devastated me. Now, I don't know how much you want me to get into things like how I was affected, or just let me know. I'll answer any questions you have. Except I can't hear you now. Seems like we're having some technical issues, and I'm not really sure what the problem is. Now I'm the only one here on the TV here. What's going on?
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, we're having some problems, aren't we?
I know there's a bandwidth problem. Michael tries to solve it out, but in Africa, it looks like a problem. Sometimes it happens in between, and people beamed out. But we are trying our best to make sure that we still go live and talk to people and discuss about our guest journey and feedback and all those stuff. So that's an amazing book. So what is the book all about? If you can, read a chapter or something, that would be interesting for the audience to know in
Okay,
detail.
well, you know what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about my experience and how it affected me, and what I now do in order to feel better and to promote the healing process. Okay, so like I said, I was raped when I was 14 years old, and I was a virgin. And because I was brought up with the Catholic beliefs, in the Catholic religion, you're taught you save your virginity until you're married. And I had this belief that sexual intercourse was supposed to be, the ultimate expression of love between two people, this great big wonderful event, blah, blah, blah. And when I was raped, all of that was completely destroyed. My belief system was affected. I no longer knew what to think or what to believe.
Yeah.
I felt like I was dirty, damaged goods. I had no idea how to cope with what happened to me. And I didn't feel as though I had anyone to talk to. And I think that was probably the biggest thing, is I didn't tell anyone for like 8 years. So I lived with this, festering inside me, and not knowing what to do. Especially as a teenager, like such an impressionable young age, and not having the guidance or support there, or at least I felt like it wasn't there. I mean, it may have been there had I opened up and talked to somebody, but I didn't feel as though I had anyone to talk to. Now, this is also, pre-internet era. Okay, this was in the mid 1980s. I mean, I'm almost 50 now, so God, I hate saying that out loud. But yeah, I mean, nowadays it's great that we have the internet to allow us to share our experiences, to reach out for help, to find help. With the technology nowadays, I mean, you can just basically go online and find what you're looking for in a matter of seconds. Whereas back, 35 years ago, when this happened to me, there, aside from family or friends, or maybe, a teacher at school or a guidance counselor, there wasn't anyone really to reach out to. And, something as devastating as a sexual abuse is difficult to talk about in the first place, never mind finding someone to talk to. And I think that's where the internet and social media sort of helps us, helps women, or people who have been sexually abused, to reach out, because there's a little bit of an anonymity. You can just like sort of reach out to a stranger, and you don't even know the person, and you can just start chatting, or go in a Facebook group, or just things like that. So you have the support, even though you don't really know the people. The support is still there, and that really helps. I mean, look at the whole #MeToo movement, right? A few years ago when that started, and so many women and even men, whoever been abused, came forward and started sharing their story and promoting the healing process. Because really, I mean, the healing process is such a difficult and a unique thing to go through. I find a lot of people have trouble starting that process, and they end up, as a result, like me, going through depression, losing interest in basically everything. If whatever they previously liked doing, they no longer like doing. They don't even have a desire to live anymore. You might quit school, you might quit your job, you might overeat, turn to drugs, drinking. Those were certainly the things that I turned to in my case, and it was really, really hard. Eventually, my twisted teenage thinking caused me to come to the conclusion that, well, maybe if I give guys sex, they're going to love me. And that is not the case, but I didn't know any better. And so I became promiscuous and eventually, came to the conclusion that, oh, this was a wrong thing to do because, now I'm just letting myself be used and abused even more. So my views, the whole rape incident caused me to change my views about love and sex. And that's a very confusing thing to go through. And so eventually it got to the point where sex didn't mean anything to me. It did nothing for me. It was just an act that I went through, just like washing the dishes. Like it meant nothing. Like it was just, like something you do and whatever. So when it got to that point, I actually had, so this is how I got into prostitution, actually, because I didn't have any sort of feelings attached to the act. I thought, well, okay, if I'm, giving it away for free, I might as well get paid for it. If I'm doing it already, I might as well get paid for it. And so that was my attitude at the time. And, it turned out to be easy money, and it just became like a job. Just like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to work, and this is now work. It's not anything that's pleasurable, because it never had been pleasurable. Being raped and having that initial traumatic and unfortunate experience really changed my whole entire life. And that's what sexual abuse does to people. It changes them in ways they couldn't even have imagined. And the people who have had that happen to them pretend like nothing's happened, and they try and go and live their life, pasting, a fake smile on their face and trying to just cope with it all on their own. And because they don't know how to process what they've gone through. And that was certainly true in my case. Now, when I finally opened up to someone else and started telling them what happened to me, it was interesting because I didn't do it willingly initially. What happened was one of my teachers approached me and had so many conversations with me that she had been previously trained as a counselor, and she recognized the signs in me just from the way I was and how I talked and things like that. And she point blank asked me if I had suffered some kind of sexual assault. And I told her, yes. Like, how did you know? And she said that she had been previously trained as a counselor, and she encouraged me to seek counseling. And she couldn't actually counsel me herself because she was my teacher at the time. So it was like, like a conflict of interest there, so to speak. And that wasn't her job anymore. She was in a different position. So I actually listened to her and I sought counseling. And I worked through, there was a set of books that my counselor encouraged me to use, and they're called The Courage to Heal. The Courage to Heal textbook and the Courage to Heal workbook. So I ended up using those, and that's where I started learning some of the strategies that I share in this book. There's a few though in From Nope to Hope that aren't mentioned in the Courage to Heal. And one of the things, just to sort of wrap my story up, and how I, was able to become the positive person I am today, is by using, in chapter 8, it's called Change Your Mindset by Using Positive Affirmations. And chapter 8 is actually free on wordingwell.com, because I wanted to share with everybody and give them a tool that they could use to start changing their life immediately. So positive affirmations will help you change your thinking, change your thoughts, and change your mindset, and change your belief system. And they're super easy to use. Basically, all you do is you create a set of statements and you say them to yourself every single day. Either you read them or you can say them out loud. And it's best to do it first thing in the morning, because it sets your mind up for the day. And they're so effective because they sink into your subconscious, and your subconscious, the thing with your subconscious is it doesn't know what's true and what's false. It just accepts what it's told as the truth. And so even if you tell yourself something you don't believe, which is the whole, the whole point, like, because you're negative, your thinking is usually negative, right? When you're depressed and suicidal, right? And the idea is you want to make it positive. So how do you do that? You take your negative thinking and you flip it and you make a positive statement out of it. So if, say, you tell yourself like, oh, I'm worthless and I'm ugly and no one likes me, then you'll say, I am worthy, I have value, I am beautiful, people do like me, they're attracted to my, great personality, or, things like that. So you take your negative thinking and you flip it over into a positive statement, and then you tell yourself those positive statements every single day. And because the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not, it will accept it as reality, as truth. So, for example, when I first started using these, I would tell myself, I am a published author, even though I wasn't, because it was one of the things that I wanted to shoot for, right? In the back of my mind, it was one of my goals. So I would tell myself, I am a published author. And then over time, like, it came true, because I started to believe it. Like, yes, I can be a published author. Yes, I can write a book. Yes, I can do this. So even though initially I didn't feel like I was capable of doing, reaching any of my goals, after using positive affirmations and telling myself, yes, I can achieve anything I want to. I can do this. You just start believing it. And so with positive affirmations, I mean, there's so many different areas that you can use them in. You can make positive affirmations for work, for your relationships, for spirituality, for, just general affirmations. One that I like to use in my, when I'm on a work day, when I'm ready to, go to work, I say, there's a strong, confident businesswoman who lives inside me, and today that woman is running my business. So that's one of my favorite ones that I like to use. But I mean, there's I'll just read off some general ones that people can use to get started. Today I am concentrating on moving my life forward. I can do anything I set my mind to. There are no limits to what I can achieve. I am awesome. I am willing to attract all that I desire, beginning here and now. I deserve all good things. I deserve happiness and success. I am patient, kind, thoughtful, and understanding, and I'm taking the steps needed to move my life forward. I am in control of my life and my destiny. I am blessed and grateful for all I have. I act with dignity and self-respect. I love my body, my looks, and my life. I am amazing and I enjoy life to the fullest. I am the only one who can make me happy, and I make myself happy by being a good friend to myself. I treat others with respect and appreciate their individuality, and I make a difference whenever I can. Doors of opportunity and abundance open to me now. My financial abundance overflows today. Like there's so many. I mean, they're all, I'm just reading, random ones from my book. And this is available. This chapter is available on wordingwell.com, and it's called How to Use Positive Affirmations to Improve Your Life. So if you just Google, for people, because that's a lot to remember, if you just Google positive affirmations, wording well, you'll get that post as the first thing that pops up on the search results. Positive affirmations, wording well. And that's it. The entire chapter is free to everybody, because that was one of the things that I never learned in counseling. I never learned about positive affirmations then. I discovered those on my own through my own self-help stuff that I still do. I'm always looking for different things online and, coming across different things. And when I came across positive affirmation, I was really skeptical. I didn't think they would work. And then I thought, wait a minute, what have I got to lose? Nothing, right? So I decided to start using them just to see how, what would happen. And honestly, I was so surprised at how powerful they were and how fast they started working for me to change my mind. Like in as little as a week of doing this every day, saying these things to yourself every day, in as little of a time as 1 week, you will start to see changes in your thoughts, in your thought patterns, and your behaviors. Because when you have more positive thoughts, it affects your behavior, right? Because you're empowered and you're confident and you're ready to tackle the world, and you can do anything. And so it sets you up for success, because it makes you want to do more good things. It makes you want to reach your goals. It makes you want to help other people. It makes you feel so good about yourself that you just have to act on it. Like they give you energy, they give you desire, motivation. They're really, really incredible. And they're free to use. They're easy to use. I think everybody should use them. I often call them that's my secret to happiness. Yeah.
It's free. It's actually free to be happy.
Yes. It doesn't cost a thing.
But let me ask you this. Where did you borrow it? Was it from The Secret that you got those affirmations?
It was not. I came across The Secret after I started learning about positive affirmations.
And who introduced you to it? Or you were doing researches?
I came across a site that talked all about positive affirmations. And I know I linked to it in, if you want, I can look it up for you. Just a minute here, because I had written a guest post for somebody about my initial experience with positive affirmations. And I explained my whole, like, how I came across them, and how they affected me. Oh geez, I'm just trying to think, where the heck
Don't
did
worry,
I...
don't worry, don't worry, Lorraine. Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay.
But it's just that I've noticed that positive affirmation really helps to build us in a way that it motivates us, it pushes us forward, it makes us achieve our dreams, that dream
Yes.
life. But if you don't kind of understand it, like the first time I ran into it in the secret, I used it for a while, then stopped because depression came in. You understand? To some people, it takes time, but I'm surprised you said under a week. You understand? To some people, it takes time. Like mine, it took me like 3 weeks to a month. But I'm surprised I used. And there's a particular phrase I really like that I loved you used. You said, "I receive all the abundance." Many people fail to use that in their positive affirmation every day.
Yeah,
And I
and that,
believe,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's great when you can, take something that you have never used before and apply it to your life, because, the laws of attraction, the laws of positivity, the laws of, abundance, all of the different things there's like 7 laws are what govern the universe, right? The law of attraction is one of them, and the law of abundance and everything. So if you change your mindset and get to the point where, you go from a place of depression and you want to kill yourself to having a little bit of hope, you're like a little bit of hope. That little bit of hope is like a fire. And if you add that fuel to the fire, it'll grow and grow and grow. So your attitude will grow and grow and grow. Your mindset will grow and grow, right? And all in the positive direction moving forward. And so using all of the different things that you encounter along the way, the laws of abundance, like, why can't you have that? Of course you can have that. You can have anything you want to, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's a job you love, all of the above. And practicing gratitude and helping others along the way will only get you there faster, right? Because no one can do anything by themselves, right? You didn't start your TV show by yourself. You need your team. I didn't just write a book because I wanted to and could do it myself. No, I had a team of supporters, and I needed other people to help me. I needed, we all need people. I needed my cover designer, who Ravi Verma, actually, he lives in India. Very talented guy. He's used by a lot of my authors that I work with now in my business when I help other people become authors. We all need other people. And when we're depressed and we feel so alone, we feel like we're the only ones who have those feelings of despair and worthlessness and depression. And we think, no one else will understand how we feel. But that's simply not true. There's other people out there that can relate. In fact, there's more than you realize. And, with you, Michael, how did you get out of your depression? Like you said, it took you, like 3 weeks using the positive affirmations. So what else helped you along the way? I'm curious.
Because actually, when I found myself depressed, I kind of started losing it. I really didn't know what to do. I noticed it affected the way I eat and my sleeping habits as well. So during one of the days, because I'm someone that like surfing the net, so I ran into it again, positive affirmations. Then I looked at myself and I sat down and said, what's really going on in my life? It seems as if I'm really losing it. So I remembered one of the best things to do to get out of depression was music. And I love music so much. So I started listening. I love listening to gospel vibes, especially the ones that expresses God's love over you. So that really, when I started listening to such songs, I started remembering how much God loves me, how much family loves me, the world needs me, despite the world it's ugly now. To some people, to me, the world is the most beautiful place, the most beautiful planet on earth. That's the world in the universe. I just believe that's how it is. So I used that, and gradually I started feeling grateful. It was from that grateful and gratitude practice that I was doing constantly, it pulled me off. Then I started coming. I now came back to that positive affirmation. Like the one I love using the most, it's especially if I'm awake till after 12. I love saying, "This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and I'll be glad in it." And that gives me a smile, and that smile pushes me through the day. But I know I need to say this because some people think I won't use the word is difficult because it's a constant practice. And you need to remind yourself that you need to be on that track to be able to make it.
Yeah, I was just.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 minute, Michael?
No, go
When
on.
you were talking about the singing and the music and the gospel songs, there's one song that like always had an impact on me, and it was "This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine." That just, because we all have that inside of us, and that's one of the reasons actually why I'm sort of switching the book cover, because it shows that candle, right? Hands around this candle, because we all have that little light, and if we can say, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine," and it's just the whole like fire metaphor of using the fire, adding to it, and letting it grow. It's really like sort of stuck in my mind lately, and so I can relate. When you say like this day, we're going to rejoice in it. It's the same thing, because today, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So yeah,
Sure.
I can totally relate to what you're saying. So that's
so. Yeah. But another thing I notice is that sometimes we kind of have this mood swing, but it happens to be more especially in the evenings. I'll just kind of all of a sudden just try and feel like a bit sad. And unconsciously, like you said some things when you start passing those messages to your unconscious set, you keep telling them, giving them a reason why they should believe it. Even if it's a lie, let them believe it. It helps. You understand? So there are times when unconsciously I will forget and I'll just go into that mood. And probably might hit me for a day or two. Then I'll get myself again. I'll be asking myself, why did you allow this happen to you? That what brings me back again. And honestly, gratitude is one key thing I advise everyone to always practice. Gratitude helps. It makes you remember those little things you ignore. Do you know the other day I was telling my wife, I said I'm grateful for the air I breathe. Some of us don't even remember that. Some are ungrateful in the sense that they keep complaining. Oh, I don't have food to eat today. or probably I don't have a tea fair to go outside. But be grateful for that air you breathe, because there's some people. There was a day I was trying to remember what I'll be grateful for. Then I heard a voice saying, "Be grateful for your air." In Lagos, I've been opportunity to visit a hospital, and I saw some people on this oxygen max.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
understand?
Yeah.
And they were being charged about I'm trying to get the equivalent, because the dollar now it's about 4.50 today as we speak. So let's say 90 cents a day. Some people pay for that a day, and some could be on it for years, 2 years, 3 years. But we are here breathing that air free. We don't pay for it, and this
Mhm.
air is kind of more fresh, good, beautiful than that they have on their nose, because they're just buying. And that oxygen, I can guarantee them, it's not better than this one that we have. This we breathe in is far better off. You understand? And I now began to start appreciating God for that free air. The other day, I started appreciating the clothes I wear, because there's some people that don't have clothes.
That's
So if
right.
you have one that you're putting on, be grateful for it. You have a shoe, you can walk. Okay, let's use let's use Maxwell for example.
Hmm.
One thing that made me fall in love with Max, and I vow to be his friend, is Max is blind, but
Yes.
Max doesn't care. You understand? Max doesn't even care. To him, he doesn't even believe he's blind. He believes he can see. He does
Yeah.
things that even people that can see can't do it. He does exceedingly well, more than people that can see. So if Max, because I had him on my show last week, and I kind of asked him, "What are you grateful?" Because he talked on gratitude, and I asked him, "What are you grateful for?" He said he's grateful for life. He's grateful for people around him. You know, when a blind man can tell you this, how much more you that can see?
That's right.
Somebody
You
that's
know,
disabled. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
that's so interesting, because I actually wrote a poem about my blind friends taught me to see. It's interesting
Can you
that you
share it?
said that Max, helped you see that, because he has been one of my inspirations for so long, that he introduced me to a blind lady named Carrie, and
Wow.
I got to be friends with her. And I actually eventually I interviewed Max, and I interviewed Carrie later, because when I
Okay.
heard, when I found out that they were blind, I was like, okay, maybe this is my opportunity to get some of my questions answered, because I always wondered, like, how do people, how do they cook if they can't see? How do they match their clothing? Like, you don't want to wear like different weird
I
colors
understand.
together. You want it to
Yeah,
match
yeah,
and look
yeah.
good. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you
Mm-hmm.
know, like, I had so many questions, and so I interviewed both Max and Carrie, and they both explained to me all of it, answered all of my questions. And those interviews are actually posted on Wording Well as well.
Okay.
But I started to think about what I'm grateful for. And so I'm just going to I will share this poem. It's called "My Blind Friends Taught Me to See." I know two blind people, Max and Carrie. These two blind people have taught me to see. I think I was
Hmm.
blind myself before I met them. Now,
Yeah.
a whole new world has been opened to me.
Hmm.
Sighted people take so much for granted. Sighted people don't really realize how well they have it. They often forget that there is
Honestly.
more to a person than the outer appearance. When was the last time you judged someone by how they looked?
Hmm.
They say never to judge a book by its cover, yet that's what happens each and every day. No wonder blind people feel safer in their homes. Why should they subject themselves to looks they can't see? My friends, Max and Carrie, have opened my eyes. Max is a sweetheart who has a heart of gold. He's a blogger, a business owner, and an inspiration. Sometimes I wonder where he gets his motivation. Carrie is a woman who loves writing and traveling. She uses her other senses to enjoy places she visits. She appreciates nature's beauty in different ways than I do. I tend to focus on the visual only. Carrie has opened my eyes to the beauty all around me. The gray skies I see sometimes dampen my mood. Now I envision sunshine and warmth raining upon my skin. And I no longer take for granted how easy it is for me to cook food. Kindness is something most people suffer from, figuratively speaking. Carrie and Max don't suffer, though, even though they are literally blind. As I travel forward on my journey in life, I'm going to leave my taking for grantedness behind. I am so glad I met these two wonderful people, because Max has led me out of the darkness into the light. That's the name of his first book. And Carrie has shown me the world can be bright. Now the world feels right. Thank you, Max and Carrie, for empowering me with your might.
Wow.
So that's, because I am like you too. I also practice gratitude, and there are so many things, like you say, the air. There's so many things that we take for granted.
True.
Like here in Canada and in North America, we have tap water that comes out of our taps. We wash our dishes, but we can actually drink it. And most people can't do that. I know when I went down to the Dominican Republic, all of their water there, like, you had to use bottled water, because otherwise you would get sick if you even, you could wash with it, but you couldn't brush your teeth, because if it was in your mouth or inside you, it'll make you sick. So I don't know how it is down in Africa, but I would suspect. Do you have drinking water, or do you have to?
Yes, we do have drinking water. It's just that there was a time, early 60s to the 80s, the government provided water, drinkable water, through the pipes, so we could drink. Then after, when corruption got into the system, we lost it. So now individuals do supply themselves with water. Like where I live, we have what we call it a borehole. When you drill water or by yourself, you drill water by yourself and supply yourself with water. So the one I have in my house, you can use it to take your bath, you can use it to brush, it's clean, but it's not hygiene for you to drink. But if you want, you can still cook it and drink it.
You can boil it if you boil it.
You boil and drink. You understand? Yes. But at least we still have that access of having potable water.
That's interesting, because I know that you can boil the water for, I think it's 10 minutes, and then it's free of all the contaminants. We had a situation in my city. It was probably about 20 years ago. And our water became contaminated. So we had to, in order to wash our dishes, in order to drink, in order to cook, we had to boil our water. And they had one filling station. Well, they had several filling stations throughout the city that if you brought your own big jugs, you can go fill and get water there that was already clean, that you didn't have to worry about, boiling or anything like that. And it was, it really made me like open my eyes to the fact that we have so many things all around us that we take for granted that other people don't have. And we forget to be appreciative and grateful for those things. And
True.
and one of the things, like when going back to our topic of, depression and, trying to get yourself out of that place, there's always someone who has it worse than you.
True.
And if you can remember that, that will help you start to be more grateful for what you do have.
True.
Like
And
in my case, I always think like, oh, am I dying of cancer? No, I'm not. Am I, do I have a life-threatening disease? No, I'm not. And so, when I start going to those darker places, I think like, okay, look around you, look at what you have, and some people, like, if they're materialistic, they'll be like, oh, I want a car. Oh, I want, nicer furniture or this or that. And it's like, you know what? Take a look at what you already have. And think to those people who are living on the street, who are struggling to eat, and you're complaining you want more, like. So yeah, practicing gratitude and being grateful is definitely something all of us should do.
True. Let's talk to Sheung. Let's see. Lua Sheung, can your camera is freezed. It makes the network really on you. Can you hear us and can you talk? Sheung? Oh. Actually, she has a story to share, and I'll love her to share her story. Honestly, she also has been a victim. Can you hear me, Sheung?
Yeah, I can't hear her either.
I think if you can, why don't you tell us your experience? Let me give it a minute, because I think the feedback is actually kind of funny. Hello, Sheung. She can't hear us. And it's so painful because she tried to just come on the show. And actually, why I really want her to talk is because hardly you see Nigerian African women talk about their experiences. They kind of sweep it under the carpet because they look at it as being discriminated. If they talk about it, people look at you and say, "Oh, you're promiscuous or you're wayward," and that doesn't help it. You understand? She has a story she really wants to share, and I would love her to do that because actually she's one of the few women I see that are bold and strong enough to share their own experiences. And I know it helps heal people. To we Africans, a woman confessing that she's been in that kind of trauma is looked to be, I'm looking for a word, I'm out of words today, but I'm trying to make you understand that they look at women that experience that to be, that's putting the blame on them and trying to hold them out from expressing how they feel. And this has been disastrous, especially to the young women in our society. You understand? And I'm hoping to get someone very soon. He's a guy that came out to say he has been raped. So soon, I pray I will get him on the show too. And I believe you'll be there as well to talk about it, because this is one thing that has been trending in the world. I thought it was only in Africa but I can say it's all over the world, Asia, Europe, and America. I was touched when I read you got raped as a virgin. I know that experience will really be horrible because it's different when you as a virgin decide to give out yourself to have sex. There's a different feeling than when you don't have an idea how it looks like. The penetration will be really that hard. You get traumatized with the reactions, the actions, and everything that goes with it. You see, so it's not just Africa, but all over the world. And it's really getting out of hand. Why we're talking about this is to see and help others that have been through it. There's some people watching us now that have been through it, but can't say a thing, can't even speak out, don't even know what to do.
Yeah, it's hard.
Good.
It's
Yeah.
hard because, you
I was
know,
scared.
like
That was my
you have to speak up.
Can you hear
You
me?
have, I can hear you. I can
Lauren.
hear you now. You're frozen.
Are you
Your
there?
face is frozen. I am here.
Oh, praise God.
I am here.
Okay.
And you're
Yeah.
right. You know, it's really it's sad when you have so many different people going through that experience and they don't know what to do. The
Yeah.
first
Some
step
people, yeah.
is to reach out for help. I wish I would have done that when it first happened to me. So that's why I encourage people now, reach out to other people, ask for help, tell them what happened. You don't need to go into details. All you need to say is, I suffered sexual abuse and I need help. Or I suffered this, you know, I need help. Because if you don't get help, the healing process is going to be delayed and it's going to just ruin you like it ruined me initially. I mean, I didn't tell anybody for years and years and years, and I wish I would have. So please, you know, reach out. If you have no one to talk to, find me and talk to me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on the internet. My Wording Well website, it was displayed all over the show, and wordingwell.com has my contact information, has my email. Like, all it takes is just reaching out to somebody. And if you have nobody, then reach out to me. I will help you. I will help you as best as I can.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And let me ask, because in Africa here we believe raping a woman could be due to because of the mode, the way she dressed, probably because there's this mental there's this belief in Nigeria, because actually they believe fashion is part of a reason why a man could rape a woman. That if a woman wasn't seductive,
that's not just it. Hey, Michael, that's not just in Nigeria. It's in you know, the United States and Canada too. You know, where a woman, if she wears like a short dress or a low cut top, oh, she's asking for it. She's asking for it. No, no one asks to be raped. And so there's that mentality. Yeah, there's that false mentality here too. It's horrible.
But can can people, women especially, that have experienced this, like, do you wear short dresses? Because from your pictures, I don't see you wear short dresses. I see you wear beautiful clothes that cover you, make you really look good and gorgeous. And in fact, permit me to use the word sexy. So does
I
dressing
used to. I used to. But there was also the time period of fashion, like back in the 80s. I was a teenager. And, you know, back then, one of the styles was mini skirts. Okay, that was a popular style.
Oh, okay.
You know how sometimes, like, there was, for a while, I think it was in the 90s, there was the grunge style, you know, and the guys would wear pants, their jeans down, you know, down their butt and like across their legs more. Like, there's, you know, so there's different fashion styles, of course, you know, that happened throughout the years. But back in the 1980s, there was, you know, in the mid 1980s, there was a style of wearing mini skirts. You know, that was one of the things, and it looked sexy. And, you know, and and especially when I was working on the street, I wore low cut tops, and I wore, you know, really short skirts, because I wanted to get the attention from the guys so that they would pick me up and pay me. Right. So that was, you know, that was a whole nother thing. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why the misconceptions come in, is because, you know, of working girls. They think, oh, well, guys will think if they see someone dressed like that, you know, that means that she wants it. But that's not necessarily true.
That's wonderful, Lauren. And I think there's some bandwidth problem with Michael's end, and we need to resume the conversation on our next episode. Maybe we can do part 2 after part 1.
Sure, and we can do that.
We'll take it accordingly. And generally, the show is almost 1 hour. We have extended for 1 hour 15 minutes, and Michael is not there, and also our guest Augustine is also trying to join us, but she's not able to join us because of the bandwidth problem. So
Okay, I'm having a hard time hearing you because there's like somebody. Is there somebody talking in the background too? We're trying to figure out.
Our guest Augustine also, she's trying to join us, but she's not able to join us because of the bandwidth problem. So maybe we can review the discussion on the next show, Friday, 6:30 p.m. IST, 9 a.m. EST, and we'll take it forward accordingly. And I think it's time to wrap up, and we'll look forward to host you again on IBM TV.
Thank you so much. Okay.
We are doing another show right now, which is Med Friday with doctors, which is live right now, where we have doctors around the world joining us and talking about the current COVID and all those things going around. If you want, you can join that show. Michael is here backstage, but there is some bandwidth problem today, so I think that's why it's a little difficult. If you want to join that show, I will post that link on the private chat. And Michael, I think it's time to wrap. We can do a part 2 with Lauren Reguli next Friday. What do you think?
Yeah. Lauren, I think I'm going to have you back next week, Friday, because, no, I have Max already. I have Max. We're celebrating Max.
It's okay. You know what? You can, we can sort the time out another time. I would be honored to come back and have it, you know, continued discussion on this.
All right. I'm so sorry that I'm having network issues. I really don't know what the heck is wrong with the network today, but we promise to bring you back. I'll send you an email to give you a reminder.
Sure.
And Anke, would you want her to be on other shows?
Yes, if Lauren is available, she can join us on Med Friday with doctors. Maybe from half an hour to 1 hour from now. Right now it's 10:30, almost close to 10:45, 10:15 basically. So if you can join us at around 11:15 on our next show, the link is already here in the private chat. So that would be interesting, Lauren. And it's time to wrap up. And also I'm very thankful to Augustine because she's trying hard to join us on IBM TV. She's also backstage right now, but I think because of the bandwidth problem, she's not able to join. So, brother, if she can share a video message, we can play that video message on our next show, or maybe whenever she's available, we can play a video message from them. Because what happens is that people who are having a bandwidth problem, they can share a video message, and we can play that video message on all our shows. I mean, because we understand that the bandwidth is the problem, so we can at least try to share their opinions, and then we can take back the opinion, because they can watch us whenever they want to, whenever they have a good internet. People can watch us on www.ibm.tv and they can follow us on YouTube, IBM TV. So thank you for joining us. And you want to wrap, brother?
Yes. Before we go, Lauren, why don't you share your social media handles where people can really meet you in case they really want to? Yeah.
Wordingwell.com has a contact page that lists all my social platforms that I'm on, lists my email, lists everything. So just remember wordingwell.com and you'll be able to find me. Yes, wordingwell.com, exactly. Thank you.
Do you have any other thing to tell viewers? Like, what's your win-win?
My win-win? I think probably writing my book and helping so many other people,
Wow.
because I was, I able to make an impact on others, and helping others is my main goal.
Good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, about wrapping up the show, well, I just have a few things to say before leaving. Today in history, in 1818, the first human blood transfusion took place at Guy's Hospital in London. In 1897, Britain's first motor bus service began operating. Today, in 1907, New Zealand had a dominion within the British Empire. In 1909, the same today, the first national aeronautic show opens in Madison Square Garden. In 25th September 1918, Brazil declares war on Austria. In 1942, same day, the World Labor Board orders equal pay for women in the United States. In 1954, Paddock de Villiers became the first president of Haiti. Same 25th September 1957, the U.S. National Guard were deployed in Little Rock to enforce desegregation in schools. In 1972, Norway voted not to join the European Committee. In 1977, the SkyTrain airliner service to New York started. Same day in 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor, the first female Supreme Court Justice, is sworn in. In 1983, 38 I-era prisoners escaped from Maid's Prison, Northern Ireland. In 1995, the new MOT emission test was introduced in the UK. I need the show. So to all our viewers, like you to please don't forget to send us your questions, your experiences, especially what you think about today's show. And don't forget to get hooked up to Lauren at her website, www.wordingwell.com. Don't forget she has two interesting books I'd like you to make sure you have on your collection: Nope to Hope and Risky Issues. Those books are life-changing. She's showing you, and in case you get to see the new edition, the new book cover, don't forget to read them, because it helps build you back to the real you. I hope you understand. Don't forget to send us an email on mindcloset101 on our Facebook page, Mind Closet, on the IBM TV Facebook page, IBM TV. You can also follow me on our YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Abraham Chinemelu. Yes, just look at the name and you see my picture. Then you just follow me on, especially on Instagram. Also, addressing it to the producer, and I promise not to disclose your identity, because some people feel shy or probably afraid that they might get criticized. But in Mind Closet 101, we don't criticize anybody's story. We try and share it to gain experience and to get to understand life better. I really want to say this. Please, to all viewers and even Lauren, you can go to our website, ibm.tv. You see a green button that has a Family Dollar store icon. Click on it and try and see if you can shop. Actually, that's one of the best stores I can recommend to anyone now, because they are part of the IBM TV. They give us, they're donating 100% of their profit to IBS Masters, and that's a beautiful show on the IBM TV. So please click and you get free tokens. Yes. And can be delivered. All the items that you order will be delivered to your doorsteps. So Laurie, please. Oh, you're in Canada. Yes, I just remembered. Okay, to all those, especially in the United States, you get a free delivery. And they have beautiful stuffs, food, cakes to items. And guess what? They're far cheaper than Amazon. Yes, try it. Try it. And if you do that, I promise you, you get a free token. Yes. Now, don't forget to touch that dial because next will be Med Friday. But today, let me give you a reminder of activities and shows on the IBM TV. On Monday is Economic Monday. Tuesday is Radio Talk with Mark Lee. Bet you don't miss it. On Tuesday is What News COVID-19 Celeb Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have Startup Wednesday and Wit Wednesday. Wit Wednesday, it's about those that have been convicted wrongly for weed. Jeff will help you, tell you how to get them out. And he has been on the mission on getting people out of jail for wrongly being accused of using weed. So that's it on Wednesday. On Thursday is Podcast Thursday. And we also have Game Den for game lovers. I was watching it. I was watching yesterday, and I really enjoyed the topics that was given out. And please, for next week, don't forget, don't miss it. It's an exciting show on the IBM TV. On Friday, it's Mind Closet 101, Financial Friday, and Med Friday. On Saturday is Spiritual Saturday, Chess Stars with Sasha for chess lovers, in case you want to understand chess and play well like the international chess master himself, Sasha Sars. Watch it on Saturday. We also have DJ live music and Starry Saturday, School of Economics with Sharif. For those that new startups that really want to understand how to grow your business, I advise you don't miss it on Saturday with School of Economics with Sharif. It's a wonderful show, a beautiful show, and I advise all entrepreneurs to watch that show. On Sunday, it's Super Sunday and Alexandra May Cafe for music lovers. It's also a beautiful show. She's my sister from South Africa, so I advise you to watch it if you're a music lover. So today, we're not going to forget our normal custom. I'm almost done wrapping the show. And today, we're going to talk about an African proverb that says, a royal lion kills no game, meaning you cannot achieve or gain anything by merely sitting down and just talking about it. Did you hear that? It said a roaring lion kills no game. Just making noise means nothing, meaning you cannot achieve or gain anything by merely sitting down and just talking about it. So it means get to work, get up and get those things done. Now, what would you be doing with your Friday? Tune in next to Med Friday for more exciting topics, especially about COVID-19. You know, it's according to what people say to me, I don't believe it's here to stay. Yes, we'll have medical doctors that will talk about medicine and health. And also, last week we talked about, we discussed more about the policy on the vaccines of COVID-19. So please, stay tuned and watch it. It's really exciting, interesting, and educative as well. Now, we're going to discuss about COVID and health. Yes, and it's great. It's great. Now, what would you be doing with your Friday? Well, I'll just chill at home, do nothing about it, sit, watch IBM TV all through the day, rest, and if I need to go out, it will be for something really important, and I always have my mask on. So don't forget to maintain the regular activities like washing your hands regularly, wear your mask, don't go out if it is really necessary. And if you can stay at home and work, please do, please, because we want you to be alive and to be safe. So till I see you on another time, on the IBM TV, same time, same station. Don't forget to always be safe and take care of yourself. I remain your host, Bronwa Chinemelo. Signing out. Adios in Igbo, Kobachi, Kome. And in India, it's Namaste. And in English, bye-bye. Stay safe. God bless.